responsible environment that spells care. Doing something.
All right, everybody, thank you for coming on a lovely spring morning on Cape Cod. My name is Adam. I'm Care for the Cape and Islands, and we appreciate you attending our first Take Care Cape Cod Coalition Resource Meeting. We're going to jump right into Better Earth because you all have a good sense of what we're all about and what the purpose of the coalition is. But to please help spread the word, we appreciate the Polar Cave signing up last night as an official partner of our coalition. And really, to be a partner, this is the work that needs to be done and that we would be expecting from our partners. Make a commitment to reduce your plastic. Meet with us, explore what resources are available that can help provide practical business-focused solutions for your business and for your organization, and then share that word. And that's the baseline commitment that we're looking for from our coalition partners. And by sharing our individual stories, the successes as well as those barriers to the success that we're looking to achieve, that's how we can shift behaviors. That's how we can create a responsible environment. And oh, by the way, that spells care for the Cape and Islands. We are an organization that is focused on stewarding and preserving our historical, natural, and cultural treasures for the Cape and Islands. And in doing so, we do that through philanthropy, providing funding to various organizations, projects that make the Cape a great place to live. And then we do it through advocacy. And currently we are working on the reduction of single-use plastics, its impact on marine debris, and focusing on the hospitality and tourism-based food service industry, but also welcoming other organizations, other community members, other businesses who are interested in reducing their plastic, who are interested in receiving consultative services for sustainability. They are welcome to join this coalition and work toward that common goal. So while there is a focus on the hospitality industry, while there is a focus on tourism-based food service establishments, what would that be? Hyenas Whale Watchers Cruises, meeting with them a few weeks ago to talk about how can we help them reduce their plastic, educate consumers, so on and so forth. Provincetown Business Guild, working with them on Carnival this year to, in an ideal world, make it plastic free. Hopefully 2 or 3 years down the line we can work on that. But looking at it from a comprehensive perspective, how can we provide awareness, event logistical support, technical expertise, and connecting to the appropriate vendors and services that can provide them the resources to achieve the success they're looking for. So in summary, what the coalition is all about, the coalition is all about serving your needs around plastic reduction. And with that, I want to turn it over to Blair, who kindly came from Georgia, as well as Vanessa, who is coming in from Maine. And I will turn it over to them because they are who you came here to see.
Thank you guys so much for coming this morning and to learn more about Better Earth and compostables. Awesome. So as Adam mentioned, I'm Blair. I'm on the sustainability team at Better Earth. My specific role is the circularity coordinator. So I work with our customers to connect with local composters to close the loop and responsibly dispose of our products. But even more than that, just increase your impact and really have the most comprehensive compostable packaging program. And then Vanessa here is also from our sales team and represents the Northeast. So between the two of us, we've got you guys completely covered. So Better Earth is on a mission to make sustainability accessible and regenerative circularity achievable. We are headquartered in Atlanta, but we do operate all across the nation and other parts of the globe. We have a 100% compostable catalog. So a lot of other food service providers out there, they'll have a mix of compostables and plastics. We've all seen where you get the compostable bowl with the plastic lid on top and you're like, what do I do with this? So we only offer 100% plant-based packaging. And we firmly believe that compostables are a catalyst for our environment, our health, and our economy. Compostables help us reduce our reliance on that petroleum-based plastics, right? It helps us fight plastic production and pollution in our environment. But it also helps, with the health of not only our environment, but also us as well. So at Better Earth, we're on a mission to make safe and sustainable packaging. Right now, we are really aggressively transitioning away from PFAS. I know a few of you guys have already mentioned that this morning. So this year will be 100% PFAS free, and over 85% of our products are already BPI certified, and the rest going through that certification process. So be on the lookout for the BPI logo on our packaging or any other compostable packaging that you come across in the market to ensure that it is not only truly certified compostable, but also PFAS free. Also too, along with health, we are now, not only seeing the implications of plastic in our environment, but also in our bodies. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been seeing the same news articles that I am as a consumer around microplastics and pervasive chemicals. So by switching to plant-based packaging, we're able to protect ourselves and our planet. And compostables help support a circular economy. We'll talk more about local partners in the area at the end of the presentation, but the more that we can invest in the local economy here in the Cape and help support the initiatives that you guys are already working on, the more we're able to, like I said, invest in that closed loop system right here in your community, supporting that circular economy. And so how does Better Earth kind of differ from some of the competitors out there in the market? So as I mentioned, we are 100% compostable. You'll never get a mix of products from us. We also have a Made in the USA collection, our Farmers Fiber collection, which we'll talk about more in a minute. But if sourcing domestically is important to you, we're able to support you in those sustainability goals, as well as supporting domestic American farmers and the domestic economy. As I mentioned, we do have a dedicated PFAS-free collection, but we are moving our whole entire product line in that direction and are already over 85% there. We have incredibly competitive pricing. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment, but in terms of compostable competitors, we are incredibly competitive. So if you're already sourcing eco products, world-centric, some of the larger, more well-known brands out there in the market, would highly recommend chatting with Vanessa, because she can support you in typically finding even better, more
This
accessible,
is my favorite slide.
more accessible pricing. And as I mentioned at the beginning, our goal is to make sustainability accessible. That looks not only like getting this product out in the market, but accessible price points, accessible performance that really works for operators and more. Domestic printing capabilities. So one thing that Better Earth specializes in is custom print. We're the only ones who print on molded fiber. And so we can help you not only share your logo, which increases your brand awareness by 23%, but we can also help with things like menu and allergen checklist, right? So like dairy-free, gluten-free, peanut-free checklist, or if it's grab and go, lobster roll, chowder, and different items like that. And then we
Yeah,
can,
I tried that yesterday. It's good.
I'm trying. And then we can also too, for seasonal, as Adam mentioned, a lot of different tourists in your different seasonal peaks. So we can do limited time offers or special menu items or special seasonal events during those peak tourist seasons. We also have, with our printing process, it is done, as I mentioned, on our fiber products domestically. So really low minimums, really low lead times. We're looking at about 4 to 6 weeks lead time. and 2 pallet minimum, and you can actually mix sizes. So very accessible for printing. And since we use a photo print process, you don't have any plate fees and things like that. So really keeping that printing cost really accessible. And since it's a photo print process, we can get super granular or very detailed with it. We can even do QR codes. So QR codes linking to the farmers that you source from, or linking to your website, or for Care for the Cape, linking to different advocacy tools and things like that. So we can help make your packaging really interactive and engaging. And then also educational. So put me in the green compost bin, right? Or really helping those tourists who are here maybe only one time and not used to the waste systems here in your community on how to properly dispose of that packaging. And also highlighting your sustainability initiatives. So using this clamshell as an impact tool. We've diverted X amount of single-use plastics by switching to compostables. So all that to say, we want to help you really showcase the sustainability initiatives that you're doing. We have an in-house graphic design team that can offer those complimentary services. So it's not up to the operators to now be a graphic design team. We have that in-house capability. And sustainability education resources. Our sustainability team is also here to help with different complimentary services like legislative tracking. We can collaborate with our marketing team on signage. So signage either for the community as a whole, so for Care for the Cape members, or for your individual locations, compost bin signage, and more. We can also help with staff training and all kinds of different sustainability resources to, like I said, just make sure you have the most impactful compostable packaging program that you can. And so we've talked how we have all plant-based packaging. So what is that packaging actually made from? So we offer the largest variety of substrates on the market. So a lot of our competitors, they'll have a full catalog, but let's say it's only made from bamboo. And while that's great that they're using bamboo to make plant-based packaging, it may not reach all operators or businesses' food application needs, or sustainability goals, or just look and feel of the packaging. And so we have a wide variety to help meet all those different needs. So starting with our sugarcane, we do have our white sugarcane as well as our unbleached PFAS-free option. But our main, two of our main fiber lines are our bamboo. So the good thing about bamboo is that it grows 2 to 3 feet a day, so it's a highly renewable resource, whereas lumber can take up to 40 years to harvest. So we're able to infinitely tap into this resource. And this is our collection that has the largest amount of products. So we have everything from plates, bowls, trays, bases with locking lids, all kinds of different items. Then we have our Made in the USA Farmers Fiber collection. This is grown by 60 Tennessee farmers and made in Tennessee. So it has a very short and sustainable supply chain, but it goes a step beyond that and uses regenerative native grasses like switchgrass, sorghum, and miscanthus. We just got the agricultural life cycle analysis back, and it shows that these products are actually carbon neutral. And so they have taproots that are 12 to 13 feet long and sequester that carbon. And they also, since they're native, rewild these farms. So a lot of these farmers, you go and meet them and they're like, we're hearing birds that haven't been here since my grandpa had this farm. Or different anecdotal stories where these farmers are really seeing how something as simple as native grasses are totally not only replenishing their soils, but their whole farm ecosystems. And then we also have our PLA. So PLA is a bioplastic. It looks, feels, and acts like plastic, but is made from plants. So can anyone guess what vegetable. I'll give you the hint of vegetable that this is made from.
Corn.
Oh, okay, yes. Yes. Corn.
You should say PLA on the
Yeah.
top, so say corn.
So sorry.
I didn't know they changed the slide.
Here's another one saying that.
Corn and sugar beets. So these are made from corn and sugar beets. And so as I mentioned, they give you that look and feel of plastic, which a lot of operators still need, whether that be for allergens, portion, control, just seeing the food, we eat with our eyes, or presentation, right? We live in a social media world where everyone's capturing their food, and that's such a strong marketing tool for those operators. So we want to make sure that they still have that compostable option as well. And so, like I said, these are our different substrates, the plants that we're using to make this packaging. Now I'll pass things over to Vanessa to really dive into the different items that we carry.
Hi everyone, thank you for having Blair and I. It's a pleasure to be here. Adam and Jill for kind of getting this whole thing going and involving us. We think this is a huge opportunity for all parties involved, and we're excited to be here. And I think it's going to be one of many for sure. So we talked a little bit about the collections that we have. Everybody knows of clamshells. We have all shapes, sizes for the clamshells in all of our substrates. Okay. A little bit about our sugarcane. Down the road, I think we might be phasing out our sugarcane because we might just be going with our farmers fiber and eco, but that we currently offer this collection as of right now and have plenty of stock for it. But as that comes along, we're trying to push people more to the eco bamboo and the farmers fiber because people don't want the bleached look. So just a little tidbit on that. Our to-go container options. This is always evolving for us. From our food containers, they call them food containers, we call them chowder bowls, right? And we have one lid for all of our sizes, so that kind of becomes a problem in the food service industry. We're like, I got 48 boxes of lids and I got like 2 cases of these sizes and they don't fit. What do I do? So we have one lid for 4 sizes and they work, and I have them displayed on the table here if you want to come and look at those. Our 2-piece round bowls. Everybody knows that for salads. We can do a fiber bowl, you can print on that, or you can do a clear. That's a great option. It stacks really nice, especially to go. Our better bowls here, kind of a spin-off on this one here. We have them in, thank you, Vanna. Thank you. We show them here, which I'm glad we have them in square. So you can do the round option in square. We do a lot with ice cream parlors with that, because it's just, or acai bowls, as well as with our chowder bowls we call them, but we do ice cream as well with those. And then we can do a dome lid if someone's putting sundaes and stuff in there. So we can mix and match our products to do whatever kind of, ideas that you guys might have. The portion cups. Vanna? Show them in fiber. We also have them in the CPLA clear. And the biggest drawback to having it in fiber, oil is the kryptonite. Oil, mayonnaise, your dressings. It's a limited time. If it's to go, I would put it in our CPLA. If it's going to be in your restaurant for a small period of time, put it in that. It's in the compost bin or whatever. Off it goes. CPLA cutlery. We have a wide variety of that. We have a little display here. I'll let you in a little secret. We're getting into dispensing as well. So we should have a dispenser available for trial in May. We can even give some to some representatives that are from distributors to come and bring out to restaurants to try, but it'll have our cutlery to be able to take one at a time and go from there. You can even print your logo on our dispenser as well. So that's coming, but we have a wide variety of cutlery for sure. That's our CPLA cutlery, and then 2-piece oval bowls, excuse me. Everybody knows of burrito bowl. Chipotle bowl, that's what I want to say, Chipotle bowl. Everybody knows that. We have that as well in 24 and 32 ounces. So again, a wide variety of options that we can, custom make for you guys. You might have an option, say, I like the taco container, but I want a 4, and I'm going to do 1,200 cases of that. Can you make it for me? Everything's on the table. You come up with an idea, it's a trend, it's something that you're starting, we'll do it. And this is how, the taco container came to life. A competitor had it, and we're like, our CEO's like, I don't like it when my portion cup goes sliding across the line or might fall on the floor and they pick it up and then they put it back in my taco container on top of my tacos or on top of my salad. I want a space for my portion cup. So that's how that came to life. You can print on these as well. I wish I had the option. I don't have that one with me, but you can absolutely print on it. Anything that you want to put. We have really cool logos. I can send all that information out if you guys want to see what that looks like. I do have point of sales on that. Our catering trays, we're getting into those. They're not for the flame. It's for really like salads, wings to go that don't have to be heated, stuff like that. But 2, 3, and our 1 compartment. And then our takeout containers, these square ones, these and all different ounce sizes that we have from 20 up to 55. These stack very well in like your to-go bags and what have you, clear to fiber tops as well. So, and yes, we put the shark in there because I can't go food. So, 5 comp trays, big in the K through 12 industry. We have that in our sugar cane. We also have it in our farmers fiber. Very price competitive on those. If it's a bid situation, you know, get us involved for your school districts, stuff like that, because everybody has grant money for those things, so that's a whole other, you know, avenue that we can go down. Our better trays, we have it shown here, that's coating, it's got a coating on it. We are working on one now that doesn't have a coating on it, and that'll be good to toss fries. So everybody heard of the Hudamaki bowls, right? They're a pain in the butt sometimes. We're gonna be having our better tray to be able to do that. So within the back of the kitchen, if you talk to someone who tosses fried food, they're gonna love that. And then our 14 by 18 trays, and if you've ever done a seafood boil, these are huge. We also use them in healthcare because they go right into a compost and they don't have to be washed and reused and worry about germs and all that. But I see this and I'm out here and I wanna put my clams and my lobster and my corn and my potato on there and my cheddar. So that's that. So BPI certified cups. We have a few sizes over here from our clear to our hot cups, our single and double wall. We do a lot of custom printing with our cups where I can't tell you the amount that come on daily with us. Low minimums. We can get you the artwork back and, you know, for proof within like 48 hours. We've got a great marketing team. And then obviously any samples that you guys want, but we do all kinds of variety of cups and lids and what have you, and then a 4-comp carrier. Everybody's got that. 100% compostable. And then I'll spin this back to Blair, but if anybody in here would like to see a sample of anything, give me your information. I'll have it sent direct to your house, and then we can talk to where do we find these products. I mean, I can't order direct from, you know, from Better Earth. How do I get it? So we can touch upon that in a minute. Oh, you want me to do that before I get it?
Yeah.
So, if you're a restaurant, a lot of times you order food from your food person, or, you know, you might have a paper company that the products are already here in Cape Cod and on the islands. It's, we've got some reps from WB Mason. You all know WB Mason. They've been here for the beginning of the century, and their products are delivered here next day on their trucks. Arrow Paper has done some stuff with Warden Foods. So all your food distributors have access to be able to order from us. These guys currently stock today, and there are others that just do some custom print with us, you know, small amounts, but we're looking to grow that as well. So, and any further questions on that, please let me know. So, back to you.
And quick question, Vanessa, what is CPLA?
So CPLA is crystallized PLA.
Yeah,
Great
and question,
so if you see here the difference in these 2 lids, so PLA is completely clear. CPLA is going to be opaque in color. This is for higher heat temperatures. So for your soup lids, for your coffee lids. So this has a little bit lower heat rating. You know, it still performs well. But it just can't, you know, it can't withstand as high heat temperatures. You'll get a little bit of warping. You don't want to put this, you know, over coffee, over soup. You don't want to put this like under a heat lamp. You don't want to have this, you know, in the summer, you know, out in the sun for like, you know, a bunch of hours. So this just withstands a little bit higher heat. It's also significantly sturdier. So our cutlery is CPLA, so that you don't have that press point that you get with some plant-based packaging where you go to stab and then you have a little shovel at the end. So our cutlery is CPLA as well. But yeah, so Vanessa touched on some of our local partners in the distribution space where you can get this packaging. But we also wanted to touch on some other local partners, right? We've talked about closing the loop, circularity, and composting. And so Black Earth Composting is the local composter to this area. I won't say here, but to this area. They are able to service the Cape. We're meeting with them later this afternoon to discuss how we can increase infrastructure out here in this area. And you know, they really want to go to the Cape. They're like, we really want to service that area. They just need, you know, more volumes, right? They need more businesses that are composting to create more of a dedicated route out in this community. So we'll be discussing with them later today ways to just, like I said, increase capacity out here in the Cape. We'll also continue conversations with Care for the Cape in terms of how we can just continue to increase access to composting in the different communities along the Cape. We've already had a few conversations here and there about how we can support infrastructure. So at Better Earth, we definitely feel responsible for creating access to compost these products that we're putting out in the market, right? We don't want to just sell you a clamshell and say goodbye. We really want to make sure that we're helping, you know, helping you guys compost, and to do that, we need to make sure there's the infrastructure here to support with that. So really working with the community here to help increase that access. And then of course your local partner, Care for the Cape, who helped put on today's event. They'll, you know, continue to work closely with us, have our contact information. You can get my information or Vanessa's here on the table. You can also always reach out to sustainability@becompostable.com. But Adam or Jill could also connect you with us directly as well. So thank you guys so much for having us. Do you guys have any questions?
What was that website again?
Sustainability
Okay,
at B as in better,
okay.
E as in earth, and then compostable, COMPOSTABLE.com.
Okay, thank you.
Questions? Yes.
So how quickly does it actually compost?
Yeah, so BPI certified compostables break down in a commercial composting facility in 90 to 180 days. We are also working on field testing to ensure that we are designing compostable packaging with composters in mind, right? BPI, that's great that it breaks down in 90 to 180 days, but we're finding that a lot of composters are processing their piles faster than that. They're business owners, right? They wanna turn these piles, make revenue. So we wanna make sure that we're sourcing substrates that help with that. Designing packaging that helps with that. For instance, our cutlery, we cut in holes. The more surface area, the more microbes can grab onto this and break it down faster. We made this because we found out that plastic portion cups were the second highest contamination in compost piles. So once again, just being really mindful and authentic and making sure that we're not just putting a compostable clamshell out there in the market, but really making sure that we're going a step beyond that and making sure that it works for composters so that we are able to create these new sustainable systems, these circular systems. Now I will say, you know, a lot of questions that you may get asked is, well, is this, you know, will this compost in my backyard? And so what we say to that is home compostable piles are so variable, right? Each one of us could have a home compost bin, but how we manage that would all look a little different. You know, who eats more plant-based diet and creates more plant scraps? Who eats out more, so just creates less food waste in general? Who turns their pile weekly versus monthly? Who has a family of 2 to 4? All these different elements. So it's hard to certify it as home compostable. Whereas commercial composting facilities like Black Earth, they follow standard scientific operating procedures to help ensure that these products are breaking down efficiently. Anecdotally though, they work great in home compost piles. A lot of our different team members have home compost bins, and we all put our fiber through there, and it breaks down great. The harder, more dense bioplastics, that's where you really need that commercial composting facility, because instead of collecting a family of 2 to 4 scraps, they're collecting the whole communities. So their piles get much bigger and therefore much hotter. These piles reach temperatures of 150 degrees or higher, and so are able to break down, harder to break down items like meat, bones, dairy, grease, fats, oils, and these sturdy bioplastics. So that may just be, a question that you guys may have been thinking in your heads, or that you may get asked from folks in the community or your customers. And like I said, anecdotally, I run all of this through my piles, and it performs great. It's just really hard to certify that. This fall, they're gonna, for the first time, BPI will be launching that certification, that home compostable, and we will be participating in that to try and get our products home certified, to once again make everything more accessible, because we realize that not everyone has access to commercial composting facilities. And from that certification process, we'll learn how, once again, we can better design our packaging to compost.
Interested in the bioplastics.
Yeah.
And wondered if your company has explored other bioplastics other than the PLA, like CDA or PH.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of, so the bioplastics industry is really taking off. Just since I got into this space 5 years ago, in the last year or two, you've seen just enormous growth. So we are exploring other substrates, ones that lend themselves to more home compostability. And so we'll just continue as the innovations come out to look into that. Some other examples include seaweed, that's a really big one. PHA, that's fermented like canola oil and other oils. So more and more substrates are coming on the market. Mushrooms are a large one. So this industry is only gonna blow up. This is the direction that the market's heading, right? I don't think we're gonna revert back to more and more plastics. This is the direction that everyone is going, from legislation to consumers, especially younger consumers. And with that, more and more technology will come online. We've already come a really far way from the fiber egg cartons. So I'm excited to see what continues to emerge in this industry.
So for right now, you only have the PLA.
Correct.
Okay.
Right now, we only source the PLA.
I was just curious because we're looking at other bioplastics and found that then the PLA doesn't, like if it ends up in the ocean, it's
Correct.
not gonna break down. It needs heat, right? So,
Yeah. So
it's as bad in the ocean as plastic in a way. So we're kind of just exploring what other avenues there are.
So in terms of, you'll see different companies claiming marine biodegradability. That is something that we will never support, because we do not want to have any claims that might possibly encourage an uneducated consumer to put packaging in the ocean, right? So we would never, ever want to do anything that, alludes to packaging breaking down in the environment. So we want to help it get into controlled waste systems. So we will, and then also around those claims, we have found that there's not a ton of evidence backing them. So seeing that it's more a marketing claim than a certification. So we always try and lean into third-party certifications. But to your point, a lot of things are coming online that may lend themselves to, better biodegradation rates. And so things like the seaweed, the PHA, those do seem to break down faster, and something we'll want to look into.
If you said this right at the beginning, I apologize. I got a
You're
late
fine.
start. I wanted to ask if you keep track of which businesses and restaurants on Cape Cod actually utilize your product. Do you know that? We'd like to frequent those
We-
restaurants and businesses.
We can work with, where we're distributing, like using WB Mason. I know our product,
Okay.
we were out to dinner last night and saw our farmer's fiber and it's like, all right, this is great. So, we can actually start working with the distribution on Cape Cod to say, hey, where are these things going? And we can give a report back if we do find out, who's buying what and where
Okay,
and all
because
that.
I think the typical consumer would like to support a restaurant that uses your
Absolutely, absolutely.
containers
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yes, and to that point, we want to help share with the businesses that are investing in sustainability initiatives. We want to help share that. So our marketing team can work on things like door stickers or table tents. If we want to do it in partnership with Care for the Cape, or we want to help tell that story. And we also want to help share, on social media, in our catalogs. We want to spread the word and help bring customers to the businesses that are choosing to make the switch to more sustainable alternatives. So the more we can do that, the better.
Do you have a question, Vic?
Yes.
Yeah.
As a business owner, it all comes down to bottom line. How much more expensive is your product?
Oh yes,
Price comparison.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of compostables, as I mentioned, we're incredibly competitive. Now, in terms of styrofoam, nothing will ever beat that price. That is an artificial price through subsidies and things like that. So in terms of styrofoam, we'll never get there. But in terms of plastic, we're actually seeing for the first time getting super competitive, in some cases even lower than plastic. So if you're looking at the number 5 and the chasing arrows, now what I say to that is that plastics are a finite resource, right? So the more and more we tap into that supply, the more that price is gonna go up. I like to think of it as whenever you see gas prices going up, plastic prices are going up. So it's just less of a stable market. Whereas ours, since it's made from plants that we can infinitely tap into, it's more stable, right? So you just see less of the dip in the curve in our market. And as I said, because of economies of scale, this is getting out into the market more, and so those prices, as the more we can get compostables out in the market, the more competitive it'll get. So like I said, for the first time, we're seeing that margin close in. Still, still a little higher in most cases, but now, typically only by a few cents. Especially if you look at the unit cost versus the case cost, it's typically like a nickel more. And you can easily bake that into your food cost, right? No one's gonna notice their burrito being a nickel more. We're also seeing people, to help offset that cost, putting a specific line item on their receipt. So, similar to we have the tax and the tip, they add in sustainable packaging and do a quarter, literally a quarter. And what we've been seeing is actually customers start responding really well to that, and it gives them this buy-in power. And once again, it's a quarter. As a consumer, I would be I have zero problem with that whatsoever. And it helps just one more time highlight that you're investing in sustainability. But to your point, we're seeing it being, more than ever we've seen before, closer to plastics, and the more we get it out there on the market, and the more legislation continues to push these products on the market, we'll see that continue to even out. But at this point, we're seeing it typically, and Vanessa, you may correct me if I'm wrong, but typically around a nickel more than plastics, and like I said, can bake that in.
And then if you want to print on top of that, it's about 3 to 4 cents on an increase. So you have 4 to 5 cents to initially get it just plain, and a lot when we have people print. Okay, you're a business owner and you spend 5% on your to-go containers, but you've got spend a nickel more, to print on it. That's a marketing cost.
Yeah.
So that can be used, as your accountant, does your taxes and stuff. There's your write-off for your marketing stuff. If you, instead of buying the pen, you're buying the to-go containers instead. So that's something we can talk about, and where we can, help you guys out that way for sure. But on her point, fluctuating in cost for us. It's the imported products that we bring in, the bagasse, the sugar cane and the bamboo, that's based on the container costs as they fluctuate, and that's the story. But our farmer's fiber pretty much stays pretty even. Dictated on, the trucks hauling it from Tennessee to our distributors and whatnot. So that's where we can get really price competitive with our domestic products that we have, for sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
I wasn't gonna say anything, I really appreciate that you added that piece about the promotion printing right on the item, because we've heard from Black Earth, I work for the town of Yarmouth. We've heard from Black Earth that they do not want compost labels, for example, labels on fruit.
Yes.
So labels added to a product is going to kind of cross out and know that
Contamination,
whole
yeah.
process of composting. So that you provide this service, it definitely adds to the quality of the product.
But we can do nutrition things like she talked about, allergies. We can do, people want us to do UPC stickers for them, for retail purposes, convenience stores and whatever. So we're getting to that point. We'll try just about anything. I'm sure eventually we're in Shaw's and doing their UPC stuff, on their products, hopefully, right?
Yeah, to
So-
Vanessa's point, I had mentioned QR codes. We can also do custom barcodes.
Mhm.
So for that grab and go custom barcodes. To your point, this says place me in compost bin, right? So we can be very compost education. But one thing that we can also do, a lot of people will say, well, that's great, but what about whenever I take it home? How do I compost it then? We can do a QR code to Black Earth Compost website where they can scan it and then sign up for, let's say, a residential service once that capacity is here on, the island or something like that. So once again, just looping them back to that composter and how to compost this at all different touch points across, the life cycle of this packaging. Other questions? Yes.
Hi Blair, we've talked, I'm Karen
Yes.
Marcel, Mass
Oh, hello.
DEP.
I thought I recognized you.
Yeah, Mass DEP, Barnstable County, and we're actually getting very close to securing funding for that contracted project manager. And we've been in conversations with the site that we're looking at building a coastal community composting facility. So that'll be a commercial entity that can process these materials, in which case right now the Cape does not have the ability to do it. It has to be shipped off Cape to be processed. And Black Earth is one of the 5 processors that will and can do that as long as it's BPI certified. So, hi Ruby, being from Yarmouth. So I was wondering if you've explored OSD or the state combis, because a lot of what I do, I'm adhered to only being able to resource information for folks that live on that state contract. As a public employee, I can't make recommendations or references. If there's a good or a service that doesn't live on that state combi or that procurement list that we all go by, for the 30B and stuff, even though we're exempt, a lot of us, for transparency reasons, go through that. Have you looked at that yet through the state here, the Commonwealth, to be on that? Because then you'll be able to broaden your customer base through recommendations or touch points such as what I do and with what Ruby does. Sourcewell.
Because I know you're from Georgia,
Yeah.
you're from Maine, a national opportunity for collaborative or cooperative procurement is an entity called Sourcewell. All municipalities across the country make use of this because they are quantified procurement specialists and we just sign up and we can use them. So what Mary's talking about is specific to Massachusetts, but if you are on a contract for Sourcewell, it makes it a whole lot easier for schools and state and local government entities to purchase off of it.
That is very good to know.
Really, really good.
We will definitely send that to our team the second this meeting is
I'll be
over.
done before we drive out of there.
Yes.
For sure.
I'm not sure about the specific state, that would go more towards Vanessa. I do know that we are on some other procurement lists, and always trying to identify distributors that also fall into government purchasing requirements and preferences. So we are beginning to get on those procurement and bid lists, but specific to the state, that would kick over to the
And we can talk after, I'll give you my information and we'll get that up, in the works for sure.
Cool.
just makes it a whole lot easier
Yeah,
for me.
definitely.
In my
I like
position.
it too.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, really.
Other questions?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys so much. We
Thank you.
encourage you to come check out some of the products. If there are any products that you don't see on this table that you're interested in seeing, we have a ton more in the back, and can definitely show you guys examples of those or send some with you. So we'll be hanging out here for a little bit if you have other questions, or like I said, after you've taken a look at the products, want to see any others. So thank you guys so much for coming today.
Creating a responsible environment that spells care.